What's up guys, Xbox Tech Junkie back today with another video. Sorry I had no video last week. I had to postpone it due to a filming error. I think my watch or something caused the video to zoom in like right here, not here, but here. So I had to reshoot this whole video and it took me like 50 tries last week. So hopefully I can get through this in one try this week. But anyways, let's move right on to what we're talking about. So today I'm discussing Halo books, and what I'm discussing is recommendations I would give if you're wanting to get into the Halo books. There's a lot of Halo books out there, and it's kind of intimidating once you look at the list. There's about I don't know, more than 20 at least, and you look at that and you go, where do I start? And really, for Halo books, there's really no. You can definitely start off the very beginning of like the history of Halo if you want to, but some people don't want to do that. And basically, what I'm doing in this video is just giving you tips or more of a recommendation of what to read depending on where you are or what are you wanting in the Halo universe in terms of books. So let's just dive right in and get to it. So my first suggestion really is it depends on how you feel. If you want to just kind of see what the Halo books are about or what they're like, or maybe you just want to read some mini stories, you're not really good with linear stories, you're just good with those ones that are just like different story, different story, different story, my recommendations would be Halo Fractures, which is the most recent of them, or Halo Evolutions. Now, these books are really fun. They're basically just little tales from the Halo universe. They're all different ones. For some of them, you might need to know a little background knowledge from other books, especially with this guy. This one's really good, too. It just talks about pretty much kind of anything from Reach to just how Marines were dealing with the war. There's a lot of cool stories in these books. They're just kind of fun because you don't really need to like know everything about the Halo universe, because some of them they're teaching you new stuff. Of course, if you haven't read some of the Halo books, you might be a little lost, but not for every single story. My biggest recommendation would be starting with Evolutions, just because with Fractures there are continuations or parts from other books that they talk about in this one, so you might be a little lost with this one, but Evolutions is a really good start. So Fractures, Evolutions, and that's kind of what they look like if you're wanting to pick them up. I'll try to leave like a list of like all the names of the books in the description below. But yeah. Okay, moving on. So maybe in your case, you just want to learn the very beginning of Halo's history, where the Halos came from, who the Forerunners were, and how did they get to this mysterious civilization that we don't know anything about. My biggest recommendation would just be starting off with Halo Cryptum. Basically, with Halo Cryptum, it's the beginning book of a trilogy talking about how the Foreigners got to where they were and why they had to activate the array and basically decimate their entire species. So if you're just kind of want to know the very beginning of Halo history, this is a really good book. Again, it's the first of three. This one's Cryptum, second one's Primordium, and third one's Silentium. They're all really good books. I'd really recommend them if you're really wanting just to learn the Forerunners in general, or start off from the very beginning of Halo. This is actually one of the first books, I believe, that kind of was before Halo 4. It came out 2010, so 2 years before Halo 4, and it kind of just starts off where 343 was heading with Halo. Next book I would recommend is if you're not so much caring about the Forerunners, but you want to learn about Master Chief or Blue Team with the Spartan 2 project, because maybe you just came from Halo 5, and maybe you watched Halo the Fall of Reach movie, and you're like, that's all good, but I feel like there's still a lot missing, and I want to know more. My biggest recommendation after that would basically just be Halo the Fall of Reach, the book. This book actually came out way before, not way before, it came out a little bit before Halo Combat Evolved. So the original Halo, the very first Halo game, this came out before. So this is a really good book to dive into. This copy that I have actually right here is a more, I believe it's edited and updated to fit with Halo Reach, the game, because Halo Fall of Reach, the book, the original book, and the game kind of had some contradictions with like Chief or the Spartans at the time. And so this book is just 343's way of editing that and fixing it. It doesn't really retcon, I guess, anything from Reach. It just kind of makes it all fit in together. So, if you grab this copy, there's nothing wrong with it. If you grab the original copy, there's nothing wrong with it. There's just a little bit more extra material. Like it says on the back, actually, you might not be able to say it. It says new content from 343 Industries. So that's all this version is. It's just an updated version. So if you get this one or the original one, either one works. Either way, really good book. I enjoyed it. It was one of my first Halo books to read. which is amazing because I sucked at reading books when I was younger. So the fact that I read this when I was really young is amazing. But I loved it because I love the Halo books, and this is a really good one. You learn about Chief, his origins, the origins of the Spartan 2 program, and Blue Team's origin story. So really good book. Definitely give that one a read. So the next one would be maybe you're just wanting to figure out what happened in between Halo 3 and 4. Now, we all know there was a big gap between Halo 3 and 4, and I mean, they don't really put anything in perspective in the video games. Like you hear, Infinity was made. And so you're wondering, well, what happened in those 4 years? It's not like humanity just went, okay, well, we'll just live. No, there are so many books that take place between Halo 3 and 4. There's Retribution, Last Light, I don't know when Renegade takes place. I haven't seen the date for that. But this book that I'm about to recommend is my favorite, and I mean, it's pretty biased to say, but I loved it. This one's called Halo Hunters in the Dark. It takes place 2 years after Halo 3, so around 2555. The reason this book is my favorite and I'm recommending it is because, for me personally, my favorite aspect of the Halo universe is the Halo themselves, the Halo Ray, the Arc. This talks about all of that. You know, it goes back and shows you what happens to the Arc after the events of Halo 3. It talks about just like Installation 07, which is the possible ring that we're going to be playing on in Halo Infinite. And so this book was just really good. Like every page just kept me invested in it. Some books I'm a little more like hard to read with. Like I can't stay tuned with every part. But this book I did not have that problem. Everything about it I was just in love with. So, I mean, it's a really good book. There are definitely other books out there that talk about what happened in between Halo 3 and 4, but this one was by far my favorite. Plus, you get some appearances from the Arbiter. Another thing is you kind of learn the origins, of Olympia Vale, which is on Fireteam Osiris in Halo 5 Guardians. So if you want a little more about her, too, she's in this book. So, yeah, definitely give this one a read. It's called Halo Hunters in the Dark. One of my favorite books. So, yeah. Not my second, but my next suggestion, maybe your favorite video game was Halo 3 ODST, and from there you're like, I want more of Alpha 9, or I want more of the ODST. I mean, they're both the same, but many people don't know who Alpha 9 is. But Alpha 9 is basically just the ODS team you were a part of in Halo 3 ODST. Now maybe you want to know more about them and what happened. My biggest suggestion for you is, you guessed it, Halo New Blood. This book basically just takes place... God, I can't remember the exact year. It takes place just after... I'll get a year for you. You know, you'd think when you read it, you would just know exactly when it takes place. I believe it takes place in 2555. Yeah. So it takes place around 2555, same year as Halo Hunters in the Dark. Basically, this book just discusses the events that took place with Alpha 9 even after the war. What they were doing, where they went after, everything happened. This book's kind of jaw-dropping for some points. I'm not going to say anything because it's a spoiler and I don't want to spoil anything. So if you love the ODSTs, or you love Buck or Rookie or anyone from Alpha 9, this one's a really good read. There's already a sequel for it called Halo Bad Blood, and that's just another one that takes place after Halo 5. But you know what? There's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in these 2 books. So you're going to have to read it if you want more about it. But yeah, Halo New Blood, definitely a good book. And maybe if you're not a big reader, it's not that long of a read. It's about 187 pages. So it's a pretty easy read, but a really good book. Definitely recommend it. My last suggestion. So this one's more of maybe you're either a young adult, maybe you're in middle school, I guess maybe a little early or a little late in elementary school. It just depends on where you're at. Maybe you love Halo, but you don't like to read because, reading as a child is boring. But you still want to know more about Halo. This one's very recent. It's called Halo Battleborn, and it's actually a young adult's book. Parents who love the Halo universe but don't want their kids to get too crazy in the 17 rated books. They're not really 17 rated. But maybe you want an easy read for your kids. This one's really good. I read it just because I love the Halo universe. It's an easy read. I mean, it's still a pretty long book, but it's really good. It just basically discusses a group of teenagers and how they dealt with a attack on their planet during the Human Covenant War. So this one's a really good one for not just young adults. I mean, you can read it as an adult as well, or you can read it as like a super old dude. Whatever you're wanting, it's a really good book. I'd recommend it. I believe a sequel is already coming out sometime this year. So this is a really good book again, and it's actually published by Scholastic. Can't So it's kind of approved by like educational programs and all that stuff. So if you really want your kids to read it, or they really want to get into Halo, but you're too afraid to let them go diving into M-rated content, this one's just going to be a good book for them, especially if they're still learning to read bigger books. But that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. If you have any questions discussing any of the books, or maybe there's other books you want to discuss, definitely leave a comment down below. Again, there are so many other Halo books, and a lot of people are probably going to be like, none of those books were even good for what you're discussing. That's okay. There's a lot of Halo books out there. You know, there's ones about, God, I can't remember their name. I'm blanking out. It's a Spartan 3 company. I'm probably going to get attacked for not remembering their names. There's more books about Master Chief. There's one called Halo Silent Storm that's talking about Chief's origins, and not really his origins, but more of him as a younger Spartan. That's a good book. I just recently read it. But again, Fall of Reach is talking about Chief's origin story, so I'd recommend that more over Silent Storm. But yeah, there's plenty of other books out there that you can choose from the Halo universe. So if you guys have any questions about them, just let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Again, sorry that it took me so long to get this video out. Had too many problems, but happy to get it out now. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.